Sorry.
So I had already informed you, so I knew that this is going to be the case scenario.
Oh yeah, we should kill Ali.
No. Ali also you told me yesterday that.
She didn't tell you. I told you. It's a difference.
That's why I said, na, she didn't tell you. You told me, but you told me, no. So I was prepared mentally, no. That okay.
However, I don't even know.
Yes. However, you don't want to suffer. We start with international integration.
Introduction. The Indian national flag flew for the first time to space in 1984 when Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma went to space. The flag was attached as a medal on the spacesuit of Rakesh Sharma. On being asked by Mr. Indira Gandhi how India looked up from up there, he said, "Sare jahan se acha." Rakesh Sharma was has an underlying concern. I hope we don't export conflict from this planet into the others. None of the paradigms that define us here on earth. The borders, the hierarchy,
1 minute. Your reading is patience. Let me open it, otherwise it's going to be.
Oh no, the Google password understanding.
Yes. But even if you have a Google password, what are you going to do? I have a double step verification.
Steal your phone as well.
It's locked, Vicky. In fact.
I'll figure something out.
You're finding your LCD. My God. What a relief.
But I am.
And then finally we are in an LCD. What a relief. One book is over. The other
Yeah, let's go. 205. Oh, go down. Sister, 5th year.
Well,
Second last.
none of the paradigms that define us here on earth, the borders, the parallelism, the divide that mar our present space. Paradigm, what we believe in. Okay? A pattern or a model.
A. Unity diversity. Below. Go down. Scroll down. What time did you leave your house to come here?
I'm only the early.
Still. What time?
Yes.
I woke up at
No, 6:30, quarter to 7.
7. I woke up at 7. 51. Rohan and Rajni are traveling in India, one from Gujarat to Mizoram and the other from Kashmir to Tamil Nadu. As they travel, they notice the beauty and diversity of each region. Yet they feel a strong,
Palpable.
meaning
Palpable means a strong emotional connect. That you can feel it. Palpable is what you can feel.
emotional connect. They appreciate the idea that India is one land embracing many, and that the Indian nation has a multitude of castes, creed, color, conviction, culture, cuisine, costume, and custom. And yet we are one. Everywhere they observe festivals dedicated to seasons of harvest, they feel heartened by the pride displayed during national festivals. They both return home with a feeling of being complete. Indians are having embraced every region that they traveled.
Yeah. So if you see, in like, for example, Bihu is a harvest festival. The same way Vaisakhi is a harvest festival. So we have
And Tamil Nadu,
yeah, We have so many festivals like that, but they are interrelated if you see. So you are like it's a vivid and the beauty of India is you have so many cultures, you have so many like you can go and have like tukka. Tukka is Indian and that so tukka is a soup. It's a very very hearty feeling like that. The same way if you have your Tamil Nadu, you go to your dosa sambar, everywhere it is available. Because we have adopted it. It's South Indian, North Indian, it's like every like cuisine we have adopted. Or you're talking about every like festivals which we celebrate together. Now Diwali is specifically a Hindu festival, but if you see in your society only, there are so many different communities, but they all celebrate Diwali. Same with Christmas. Christmas is also celebrated by all. Everybody put a Christmas tree and you will have that kind of party, this one. So that's the beauty of India. India has so many variety of things and we are still, like if you know, like our identity is of an Indian rather than different communities. We are surviving, like that's a unity in diversity. That's a beautiful phrase which encompasses that. And so even if you go to school, your school also celebrate all your festivals would have it. Yeah, every single this one is celebrated because that is called because you all are from different places, right? All are from different localities, all are from different communities, but we celebrate it as one person. So that's what like when you feel like when you hear the national anthem or you have Vande Mataram, the instant that patriotic spirit comes in us. Right? We feel very offended if somebody is not standing in the national anthem or like somebody who is not.
It looks like it's
Yeah,
not
yes. So it's that's the beauty of a nation. Okay. Anything which I'm not understood here. So you will get maybe you have to
I
write
already got
an analytical paragraph. You may get or you can get
I got an article writing.
article writing or you can get a letter writing in this.
So now this won't come in school's paper because it already came.
Which paper is fine, but
No.
board. We are playing board. We are not playing on this. Understood? So see, this is how different states, different cuisine, different handicrafts, weather. So we have to make a table out of it.
I don't have some
Hmm.
B. Challenges to national integration.
Hmm. There is mind without fear. Rabindranath Tagore's poems. Yeah. And he wrote it, if you see
Sorry.
each word is so beautiful. Where the mind is without fear, the head is held high. Where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of peace has not lost its way. Into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee, into the ever widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country live. So it is like it talks about national integration again. Like when you talk about where the mind is without fear, you are not scared of anything, you're free to express your will. You're free to like there's no kind of restrictions in you. So then your mind is without fear, you're allowed to live absolutely to your choices, to your this and the head is held and you're proud that you are in such a country, right? When knowledge is free, education is free, you can gain knowledge from everywhere. Not only school, you can gain knowledge from your neighbors, you can gain knowledge from everywhere around you. So that where the world has not broken into fragments, into pieces, fragments are pieces, so where there is no like no enmity, there is no hatred, there is no it's like it's not everybody is not divided per se by domestic walls. Like as I said, when you celebrate festival, you celebrate it together. It's not like I celebrate only in my family and you celebrate only in your family. It is together. So it's not divided by domestic walls.
The house.
It's not the house walls per se, but like anything doesn't divide. Where the words come out from the depth of truth, what you feel, that words, that is the emotion, that is what it comes out from the truth. It's not something you hide or manipulate. Where the child is striving stretches his arm towards perfection, where you are always working hard, where you always trying to do better, where you're trying to improve your country, where you're trying to make sure that there if there is prosperity around. Okay, where the clear stream of reason has not crossed. So we know you can reason it out. Yeah, this is the correct way. You are not it's not muddled or it's not obscure. It is something which you can think clearly. Into the dreary desert sand of that habit. It become a habit. So we have a tendency to lapse into that habit. We not get out of that. So it is very boring, really, right? Very, very boring desert of sand of old habit, of that habit, you become habitual with this. Where the mind is led forward by the, when you are leading forward to a good future, to a great nation, to because this is when he was post-independence, this poem was written.
You were very enthusiastic.
Yes. And into the ever widening thought and action, because you were free, you could do he wanted us to prosper, to do well, to be a developed country, to escape all slavery, what we had suffered and all that stuff. Into that heaven of freedom. So that was the major aim. Into the heaven where every thought is not restricted, every action is not restricted. The
You can do
Britishers
whatever you
literally, treated us as slaves. If you know, even the zamindars and the kings and all that, when we talk about them, even they had to have permission to sit before the British officers. Did I tell you this? Did I tell you this? They had.
Yeah, but I got to know in history.
Yeah, so even they had to have written permission to sit before on the chair. If they are there to sit before the
They were
officers,
just puppets.
yeah. Yeah, so please let my country awake in this kind of scenario where everybody has a freedom of choice, everybody has don't yawn at it. And also you can imagine I'm getting up early in the morning and coming. I have to wake up at 5. Sundays are my torture day if you can tell me that.
Last
Actually now Monday we don't have class, right?
Tuesday we have.
Tuesday, Wednesday. That is then there's a break. Because I have to check my timetable again, that's all. Okay?
My childhood. Should I read? It's very long.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful lesson.
Can I read in my brain?
I want to read it in your way.
I speak so much and go ahead.
You go bring water and now get a water bottle as well.
And he is very sleepy.
I know, better drink water and you will not be sleeping.
But this is just reading very easy. Even though Swarat is absent, he's still here. Please look in the chats of all the water and not even this one, only this up.
I know, all the water bottles caps are broken.
How does someone do that is what I'm interested.
That they can do. Like water? Sure? Alright.
I was born into a middle class Tamil family.
No, 1 minute. When the words come out of the depth of, no, sorry, I forgot that. Narrow domestic world represents what?
You said it represents that nothing can come
Divide us.
Right.
Divide us. Neither caste, no creed and all that. Where words come out of the depth of truth.
People have the right to speak. They can speak what they think.
What they feel in the heart. Okay. Then when tireless striving stretches out towards perfection,
People work towards being perfect. And
correct. Strive and work a person. Where the clear reasons, the stream of reason have lost its way.
People always do the right thing. They do not go off of the wrong path.
Yeah. So they have to think rationally. They have to think tactically. That what else? People understand due to the theory desert, sand of the death. Whether you have to understand each line, it's a poem because of that.
But what can we ask from a poem?
Everything. I can frame question answers. I can frame this one slogans. I can create notice even then into the theory desert sand of then happened.
I started yawning from that.
So basically, it is talking about all our prejudices, all our the bias is what you have. Okay, and superstitions and all that. We should leave that. That is our other 10 habits. Alright? Where the mind is led by forward by the
our brain
thinking.
Our brain works very fast. It thinks about an action.
Thinking. Basically, we are talking about when you are like forward thinking and not narrow-mindedness. Understood? Like here also into the never binding thought and action. That means we have to have this broad thinking and you cannot be narrow-minded in your ways or thinking.
That means you cannot judge people.
Yeah, you cannot be narrow-minded. Freedom for the country last time and spiritual freedom also. Okay. Now, my childhood, Abdul Kalam.
I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island. I came down of the Meswaram in the erstwhile Madras state.
Very like sincere or honest.
My father, Jainullah Bidin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these advantages, he possessed great intellect, wisdom, and enthusiasm of spirit. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashishama. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I'm quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. I was one of many children. A short black boy.
1 minute. What did he learn from his father?
Um, his father did not have much wealth, but he possessed a great intellect.
Innate is inbuilt or this insight from inside. It was very wise from him within. Erstwhile is former.
He possessed inbuilt wisdom and a true generosity spirit from his father.
Yes. And what else?
His mother fed a lot of people every day, and the number was mostly that he, outsiders would eat food with them more compared to their own family members.
You can have a summary in this. Next.
I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large house, made of limestone and brick, on the Mosque Street in Rameswaram. My austere father.
Austere.
What is that?
Strict.
Used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicines, or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally.
Yeah, so he basically, the crux of it is that he was, though his father didn't provide luxurious thing, but what was needed for a child, that was provided. So that's why he felt secure. Because when you're secure, like if you're talking about materially, as in like whatever what he needed was provided, whatever he wanted wasn't. His father was austere, and that means he was strict. Alright, and emotionally he was secure because he knew that his parents loved him. So that is like how a child should be brought up. So that way. So he was not a spoiled child. Okay. So this, like, how did he look?
He looked a short boy with he didn't have really good look. He didn't have
Undistinguished means basically
not figure. You cannot figure the looks out.
huh?
Undistinguished
Means not like striking features. Some people have striking eyes, some striking nose, some
something
striking.
which catches attention.
Yes. So undistinguished is that, which is not striking.
His parents were good looking, but
Yes, he was. So his house can get a status that financially they were secure, right? Because they're living in a pakka house at that particular time. But even though they lived in a pakka house and they were financially secure, the father made, made sure that
all the basic necessities are provided, but not luxurious thing.
What is not required is not. Next.
The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I had never been able to understand, sudden demand for camels seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds I filled my book provision shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the prime princely sum of 1 anna. My brother-in-law, Jalauddin, would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in headlines in Jinamani. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces, and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in the form of the destruction of the train hall at Rameswaram station. The newspaper now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameswaram road between Rameswaram and Dharaspur. That forced my cousin Sam Sundar, who distributed newspapers in Rameswaram, to look for a helping hand to patch the bundles, and as if I fit this work. Sam Sundar helped me on my first pages. Half a century later, I itself feel a surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time.
Okay.
There is nothing to understand, is there?
Tablet seeds.
Kachi meat.
Why the sudden demand of tablet seeds? Cotton and jute that are used in textile, the kernel powder is used for sizing in textile. Cotton and jute at that particular time became of style.
Important
Yes.
for export.
Correct. So that's what he used to collect the sandal seed and he used to sell them at the provision stores. Provision stores is your retail store, what you get, right? And
He would earn 1 anna.
1 anna. 1 anna, princely sum of 1 anna because it was at that particular time 1 anna also a lot of amount. Right? That's why he called it princely. So that they escaped why? Their area was not affected by.
Maybe mostly because Muslims live like together.
No, they were isolated. Isolated is written there. That's why I said don't read like that blindly. It's written there. Our area being isolated was unaffected by the war.
Why would it
Isolated.
isolate?
It's like on the hills, if you see hills, the area is isolated, isn't it? It's cut off from the main city area. So that those areas are called isolated. So they are from the main area they were cut off. Okay. Rameshwaram was near the river, like basically that at that particular time there wasn't it was like an island, so there was no not a city, city was. Okay. Alright, so what was the first casualty?
It came from a train or something.
It came from a train or something. What does it mean?
It came in the form of suspension of train halt at Rameswaram station.
Correct. When the emergency was declared, that time the train, there was very less stations the train would stop at, and now out of that, Rameshwaram, the train used to stop at Rameshwaram, but it was discontinued during Second World War. Alright? Now, this is why, because like the brother has used to read the newspaper, so the train at that particular time, how did newspaper, yeah.
So then this was throwing it out of the newspaper.
Yes.
And that's how he got his first job and
Yeah.
every child is born and sorry.
Because of that repercussions in what they were throwing newspapers, that's why his cousin required somebody to
A helping hand.
yes, to catch. Because if it is not stopping, that means they were throwing it out of the train and the newspapers when it's passing Rameshwaram, that's why he needed somebody to collect it. If it stops, you can easily take
Take it out, but the
yes, and this is also now what is this talking about? Even as a child,
he was hardworking.
Yeah, he was hardworking, he was persevering. He didn't stop at anything. For him, he never considered anything as a small task. Understood? So this is a reflection of his father also. Okay?
Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific society, socio-economic and emotional environment, and trained in certain ways by figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father. From my mother, I inherited faith in godness and deep kindness, and so did my three brothers and sisters. I had three close friends in my childhood: Ramanandan Sastri, Arvindana, and Siva Prakash. All these boys are from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families.
What does Orthodox mean?
Very, they follow Hindu religion, Hindu Brahmin culture very religiously.
Very religious.
All the customs and superstitions are still followed. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst us because of our religious differences and upbringings. In fact, Ramanandan Sastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Sastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. Later, he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Arvindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. Pilgrims, and Siv Prakasan became a catering contractor for the southern trains.
These are all very different religion people and different jobs they are doing. One became a priest, one became like transport, like pilgrims. Rameshwaram is famous for temples. There's the Rameshwari temples and all that, right? And Shiv Prakasan, when we talk about this, he's a catering contractor. Remember, in trades they provide food, right? There's a pantry, right? But the pantry, the food is not prepared in the pantry. Most of the time, it is packed, like it is distributed from there, right? So that he was the one who should distribute to the southern railways because Rameshwaram comes to the south. It's in Tamil Nadu, right? So it came to the south. So that's what. What he's basically saying is about all people being different in a small city. In this one, all belong to different communities, but there was nothing dividing them. Yeah, they were united, stood unitedly as children. Yes.
During the annual Shri Sitaram Kalyanam ceremony,
what is Kalyanam? This you should know.
I know.
It's a wedding ceremony. Shri Sitaram Kalyanam.
Why should I know this?
Because the reading is typically like a South Indian.
No, it sounds like that. Our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idol.
So they are a Muslim family. If you know, Abdul Kalam is a Muslim.
Yeah, but still
they would arrange. So that again talks about national integrity. Or unity. Yes.
From the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Ramatirtha, which was near our house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and my grandmother would tell the children in our family.
So prophet is Prophet Muhammad, which normally they believe, and Ramayana. So there was again in the house also the upbringing of Abdul Kalam was like it was still a national unity thing because
We
they
hadn't, like-
whether to talk about Ramayana, which is Hindu's mythology, or about the prophet, every story was told to them.
They were not that only minded.
They were not biased or they were not prejudiced.
One day when I was in the 5th standard, at the Rameshwar, it is given like that, not sounding like something.
Really, you're sounding like a Tamilian, the way you pronounce certain words.
Because it's given like that. See, Rameshwar.
So you're reading of Rameshwar.
But it's not H, it's not given at H.
Yeah, Rameshwara means.
Rameshwar. Rameshwara elementary school. A new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marketed me as a Muslim.
Marketed me or marked me.
Shit. Sat in the front next to Ramanatha Sastri. Sast. Who wore the
It's a Shastri only, it's an Indian word. So don't read as a that if you're putting inflection in that particular word, that's why it's sounding very different.
But it's fun sometimes. Who wore the sacred?
You know what is a sacred thread, right?
Yeah, the Buddhist wear the fine haka.
Hmm.
The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest son sitting with a Muslim girl.
What do you mean by could not stomach?
She couldn't digest the fact that a Hindu and Muslim was
Everywhere.
in accordance with her social ranking as the new teacher saw it. I was asked to go sit on the back bench. I felt very sad and so did Ramadan, whatever. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression.
Yeah, so he was very distraught when they were
saw
separated.
this.
Especially like he's getting the front seat and this one is getting Abdul Kalam is getting the back seat. Again, here racism to be seen by the teacher. How she discriminated between Hindu and Muslim. Right? But the children didn't discriminate amongst themselves. They were distraught when they were separated.
They were okay with being friends as a Hindu and Muslim. I mean.
Yeah, so it's completely the same place for you to speak.
I was
Yeah.
after school we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Whatever the name is. Summoned the teacher and in her presence told the teacher.
Lakshmanitis.
No. Told the teacher that we should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to go either apologize or go this school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction and we ultimately reformed the same.
So even as a community and even as a parent, they were broad-minded. They didn't tolerate any kind of prejudice or racism or discrimination, anything. So now, here when they told their respective parents, the pandit, now the priest, who is a high priest, who's esteemed in the community, understood, who's supposed to be the highest inspected person in the community, he went and scolded the teacher, and the teacher realized. Because he said, either you leave that attitude what you have, or you can leave the island and go. Because Rameshwaram is an island, that's why they were isolated as said. So that. So what is this one very important thing here is they didn't tolerate social inequality and communal intolerance. Keywords. And see, reform means to change
completely.
Yes. Yes.
Change.
Yes.
On the whole, the small society, whatever,
Rameshwaram.
though I'm not pronouncing the names, was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups.
Rigid.
Very stubborn.
Yeah, very strict about that particular.
However, my science teacher, whatever the name is, who were Orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative vibe, was something of a rebel. He did not
He did
his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I wanted to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated from the big cities.
So Here you find another instance in Rameshwaram only where there was
There
this.
is no social inequality and no communal.
No, he had his conservative wife who didn't like him mixing with other community people.
He did.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's why he was something of a rebel in that he went against his wife's wishes. Okay, he decided to break to social barriers. Social barriers is about community, about religion, and all that, so that people of varying backgrounds, different backgrounds, get a chance to learn, to be educated, and they could mingle easily, means mix easily. There shouldn't be any kind of hesitation amongst them. There should be any nothing should be a barrier between them mixing with each other.
No narrative.
Yes, and he trained Kalam, Abdul Kalam,
In such a way that he put that
on par, on equal
with the
footing.
same
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in a ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen, whatever the name is. Was not perturbed.
Perturbed, disturbed.
Nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with his own hand and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, whatever the name is, invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When I visited his house the next week, wife took me inside the kitchen and served me food with her own hands.
Yes. So it's like when you face obstacles, you cannot give up, right? And there are people in the world who are going to be narrow-minded, who are going to be very conservative like that, like who doesn't. It is very distracting. So it's like people we cannot bow, and that's how the teacher taught him that you cannot bow down when people are being narrow-minded or that. You have to bear it out patiently. They will understand the mistakes and do that. He didn't scold his wife. He didn't say that why, how dare you do this and how dare. He
It's a
himself.
normal Indian couple.
Yes. No, normal Indian couple also have fights because of that.
Exactly. They would
Fight.
not like a normal Indian couple.
Yes, a knot. I really a knot. I heard like a normal Indian couple. So that way. But she realized like, when he saw how Kalam was behaving, how respectful he was, how he like, so that's why he said that he couldn't understand was she looking at me how I'm eating or how I'm drinking or how I'm eating the place after that. So she didn't like that got to her. Like she understood like what she's doing was wrong. And that's why the next time when he came, she served.
Then the Second World War was over. India's freedom was imminent. What is that?
Imminent, that means going to happen.
Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhi. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism.
Even unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
You see, between words, I'll also go rewire. Unprecedented. So,
Unprecedented. I asked my teacher, father, for permission to leave and study at the district headquarters. He told me as if thinking aloud. Abdul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seal not characterize the sun alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran, to my hesitant mind, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love and but not your thoughts. But they have their own thoughts. Dear I.
so it is no. He is saying about Khalil Gibran. Now he is an American Iranian writer. He's philosophical writer. Now he's saying that now he wanted, right? He wanted to study, go for higher studies. Rameshwaram was a small city. He wanted to go for a higher city. So he said he wanted to go to this district headquarters, Ramathapuram. Ramathapuram. So he says, he like, the father was very stoic about it. Like he believed that yes, you have to fall
against, or they were with him.
Father believed that he has to leave the nest. Okay, you have to grow. It's like how the seagull, what he's used a metaphor here, like it has to not fly across the sun alone and without a nest. So when a child, especially a chick, when they grow up, they have to go away from home to pursue their life, right? Pursue their future, like that. So the mother was very hesitant. He said, then your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. That means they have a future, they have to live their life, they have their own destiny. Alright? They come through you, but not from you. So means they are a part of you, but not they cannot live their life according to you. Alright? You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. So you can love them, but you cannot influence them with your thoughts. Or they have their own thoughts because they are unique people, they have their own thoughts and their own perception. So that's how they look out for life and they have to move forward in life. You cannot keep them tied to your.
Go to page 130 to 34 according to this. We'll finish this in the This is also very big.
But you are reading, you're not asking me questions.
Because you're explaining on your own, so I don't get it.
What flipping pages?
We have broken how much is left. This is not that fun to do.
Yes, but you can't help it because you have to do, as I said, certain parts like your Subheshu Pida Tumara, then slogan writing. You have to remember all the slogans.
I don't have slogan.
No.
For articles.
For articles, you require. For notices, you require. For emails, you require. In the sense of not Subheshu Pida Tumara, you require this for a lot of things. For analytical paragraph, you require.
As the population of India comprises many different races, religions, cultures, and language groups, the importance of national integration comes to the forefront. In order to establish peace and stability and ensure progress, all different societies must be brought into one single nation with a national consciousness.
Why is this important?
Because our India is comprised of many different races, regions, cultures, and national language groups. So there is a huge importance of national integration.
You know how you play football? Everybody has a different talent, everybody has a different skill. But if I don't play as a team, I will lose the match. But if I have to play as a team, I will win the match. So like that, India is like this. India has different players with different communities, different cultures, different thought processes, different language, right? All are in different language, but we are joined together as a team. So we have to face it as a team. That's what he's saying. That's why national integration comes to the forefront. Because we are all different. Okay? What is important to establish peace and stability?
All societies must be brought together as one single nation.
Yes, the national consciousness. What is your national consciousness?
Consciousness is scared of something and like getting anxiety.
One with a national consciousness that we belong to one nation and we are part of one nation. That kind of that feeling, that emotion, that pride. anything can divide us. To remember why there was initially Hindu-Muslim riots.
Because the British had divided us.
Correct. Because
We
that
were very thick and mind.
yes. So that is what it is. That divide, in order to reduce that divide, it is being nationally conscious, and we have that pride in our nation, and like the every community comes together, that becomes a national consciousness.
National integration should aim to even provide social cultural relations, reducing economic inequalities and strengthening unity and solidarity. What is solidarity?
Solidarity. Solidarity means togetherness. That we are one for all and all for one. That is solidarity. Solidarity.
If we have other forces that challenge national integration are, the answers are not different.
Yeah. So basically, what nationalism should do is that the social cultural relationship we were talking about. What is social cultural relationship? We did in history. Social cultural relationship.
The social life being interlinked with the culture.
Correct. Then we're talking about reducing in economic inequalities. There's a lot of economic inequalities in India, if you see. And then you were talking about strengthening unity and solidarity. That means we come together, stand together, right? So that
Have very strong.
have a very strong bond. If we ask what the forces challenge national integration, very easy. We are talking about religion. We are talking about communalism. What is communalism?
Community, people in the community being
Yes, different communities having separate identity. Religion, fanaticism. What is fanaticism? That's what I'm going to
I
ask.
hadn't read that, so
No, but fanatics. Fanatics are what? Fanatics, you have heard this word.
okay.
What absolutely crazy and this one. So religious fanaticism
Oh, that lunatics who are the religion.
for religion only. This is what jihadis do. You know, you have heard jihadis, right? That they are religious fanatics. Right? If you talk about Iran, Siberia, and all that, women are supposed to wear burqa. You cannot really move out of burqas and all that. So that those are religious fanatics. Linguism, so you definitely know. Linguistics, that means different languages. Linguism is basically different languages.
And
And
now terrorism are the main forces among others.
yeah, these are the one which divide the
Which can be the narrative notes.
Yes, they are the ones which can divide a country.
The patriotic doctrine
Doctrine.
that for a citizen, the country comes first and all other nations come second. Doesn't always work to motivate the people for national causes. As we know, the second is an underdog that always vigorously tries to overcome the first. This explains why national integration is always under threat from within the country as well as from outside. It's unfortunate that pernicious forces, often coming from a few individuals with extraordinary capability to gather and organize followers, are always present posing threat to national integration for narrow political goals. Narrow.
Perennius, pernicious, evergreen. So, what does it mean? Hmm? Harmful effect, especially gradual suddenly. Pernicious forces. Because we're talking about with the forces now. Harmful
Religion
effect.
aspirations.
First, tell me what does it mean? Like when we say the country comes first and all of the problems come second, it is actually the other way around. Normally, the other issues will come first because it is like a dog. It is compared with a dog.
Underdog.
Yes, that always vigorously tries to overcome the first. Right? It tries to break the country, right? Because these issues are normally the ones which causes a lot of riots. And then That's why national integration is a threat, because inside also come from outside also, because they take advantage of that, correct? And then often coming with a few individuals with extraordinary capability to gather organized followers are present posing chief. Remember, we have terrorists who from the within the region from Kashmir, let's say Kashmir, from Kashmir only, they take people and train them to kill people. So that's why he's talking about that. These are the very this one, the different communities and different problems face social community or communal this one. All these are these outside people take advantage and they use it against the country itself. But they take people, they turn them against the country and they make them what they call jihadis. I'm taking one specific example. There are many examples. There are many examples. I'm taking one specific example only.
I only know one example.
Yeah.
Regional aspirations of the people, if not controlled, may be dangerous for the country as it may break it up or create more and more new states. Communalism may encourage clashes between communities. No community should be placed above the nation. Lingual preferences should be peacefully dealt with so that no excessive bias or favor for any one religion. Language brings about agitation in the country. Religious fanatism is one main dangerous goal that often leads to violence. Not only in India but across the world. India is a secular country, but that hasn't solved all problems. Let us recollect that the secularist founding fathers thought about religions. Mahatma Gandhi said, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Jew, I am a Christian, I am a Buddhist.
Okay, so this regional aspiration, people belonging to certain regions. So that our region is like greater than the other region, right? So that if not controlled may be dangerous for the country. Then you're talking about, because it will create, now if you see Jharkhand, initially if you talk about Madras, now it is changed to Chennai. First it was Bombay, changed to Mumbai. It's because of we are Maharashtrians, Kolkata. We are Bengali, so that works. So like that is regionalism. Understood. And that's why we'll create more states. We are not supposed to be divided, right? We are belonging to India. Yes. Then you're talking about communalism encourages clashes between communities. Right? Every community will say, my community is great, my community is what there will be. And community doesn't come over the nation. We are a part of a nation, so you cannot have that divide. Next, you're talking about lingual preferences. Now, if you see, now this is what is coming, right? Marathi has become compulsory.
Yeah.
If you see, but because of Maharashtra, the same way Tamil is in Chennai, same way in their state. But why? That shouldn't have that, because that preference is
so hard to study that.
Linguistic preferences shouldn't be given, right? Because it doesn't come above the nation, right? And that's why, because it encourages biases, isn't that? Like, the Maharashtrians only are going to get government jobs, and those who can speak Marathi, the outsiders are considered outsiders. If you see, Shiv Sena, which is in Maharashtra, they are very predominant in that.
Yeah, like, Marathi.
So that one. And out people, they have to be chased away from. That was initially that was there, right? So that can bring about break the national integration, understood that way. So religious fanaticism also. Remember, like Hindu, Muslims, you have your Sikh, you have this one, why are you wearing the Sikh? They wear that dagger and everything. That's a religious symbol and they wear that. But then, the kada, why are you wearing that? So that fanaticism shouldn't be there. Every community should exist peacefully, right? So this can often lead to violence, not only in India, but all over the world. Even this, like remember Hitler, Jews should they Indo-Aryan. Yes, Nazis, he formed this Nazi army. So it is religion can become a point to go and fight. So that's a so he said, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Jew. I'm a Christian, I'm a Buddhist. He said, I'm everything. You are.
It is not that fun to read all of this.
But
Julius Caesar seems more fun.
you have to read it. No, if you're not, it's unfortunately it's coming for your exam. No.